Psychology actually shows us that depression doesn't always come from these obvious movie-like massive traumas. Actually, sometimes it develops super quietly. It slowly builds through the environment we grow up in. We're talking about the words we hear repeatedly, the constant pressures, and the emotional patterns we experience every single day at home. The people closest to you can deeply affect your mental health. And look, it's not always because they intentionally want to cause harm. Often, it's just because certain subtle behaviors really add up over time.
So today, we're going to break down 5 specific, often totally unintentional parenting behaviors that can quietly damage a person's emotional well-being over time. Let's dive right in. Section 1, criticism and unfair comparisons, or what we can call the external pressures. Okay, so the first sign is constant criticism. Look, everyone makes mistakes, right? That is completely normal. But some parents rarely, if ever, acknowledge the effort you put in. Instead, they just laser focus on the flaws. What you did wrong, what could have been better, or what just still isn't quite enough. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that this constant criticism slowly chips away at your self-esteem. It's like a slow leak in a tire. You stop feeling confident in your own abilities, and eventually, you just start believing that literally nothing you do is ever truly enough. And that leads right into the second sign, constant comparison. Have you ever heard something like, "Why can't you be like them? Look at what others achieved." I mean, wow, right? Psychology shows that this constant comparison creates deep, deep feelings of inadequacy. Instead of feeling supported at home, you just end up feeling like you are permanently falling behind. Eventually, your own self-worth becomes entirely tied to these impossible expectations set by other people's lives. Moving on to our next grouping, ignored emotions and control. These act as the internal restrictions. This brings us to the third sign, ignoring emotions completely. So you're feeling sad, stressed, or just totally overwhelmed, but every single time your emotional struggle gets immediately dismissed with phrases like, "Stop overreacting. It's not a big deal. You are being way too sensitive." Now, this points to a really crucial psychological concept called emotional invalidation. This is when emotional struggles get completely dismissed, which basically teaches people to just suppress their feelings instead of actually trying to understand them. And here's the thing. When your emotions stay ignored for too long, it's like a pressure cooker. This internal stress starts building quietly in the background, causing real, lasting damage to your mental well-being. So the fourth sign involves parents controlling every part of your life. This one is super tricky because some parents completely confuse control with protection. Every decision gets monitored, every choice gets questioned, and very, very little freedom actually exists for you. Well, psychology shows us that this kind of excessive control weakens your personal independence over time. You start second-guessing your own judgment, and you feel totally trapped inside decisions that, honestly, were never actually yours to make in the first place. It is incredibly emotionally exhausting. Now, let's examine the conditional love trap. This often serves as the core wound. Honestly, this might be the deepest sign of all, conditional love. It's basically affection that only appears when certain expectations are met. We're talking about things like getting good grades, having perfect behavior, or just showing total obedience. But here's the catch. Healthy psychological development depends heavily on feeling accepted without constantly having to earn that approval. This transactional type of love actively prevents that healthy development from happening. When love feels conditional, you start believing your actual value as a human depends entirely on your performance. Slowly but surely, your true sense of self just starts disappearing. It gets hidden behind this constant, exhausting need to please others, just to feel like you're worthy of a little affection. Okay, so what do we do with all this information? Let's talk about protecting your mental health and understanding unhealthy patterns. Let's do a super quick recap of what we've covered in this explainer. The environment you grow up in shapes how you see yourself. Period. Constant criticism, unfair comparison, emotional invalidation, excessive control, and conditional love. These 5 patterns deeply, deeply affect your mental well-being. Sometimes the pain we carry into adulthood started inside environments that quietly taught us we were never enough. But here's the good news. Recognizing these signs and really understanding these unhealthy patterns, that is absolutely the first and most important step toward protecting your mental health today. To wrap up, I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful question straight from our source material. Do you think parents always realize how deeply their behavior shapes a child's emotional well-being? It's a really profound thought, isn't it? It completely validates the very real struggles so many of us face, while also leaving a little room for empathy toward the unintentional mistakes that parents can make. Think about it. Keep questioning the world around you and take care of yourselves out there.